We're going to break this down. We know the car market's been a really challenging one, so we're just going to cut to the chase. We're going to give you some of the best incentivized car deals and SUV deals that you can get right now in the month of September. I want to share some of these numbers with you, share some of the deals and the vehicles you should go shopping for. Let's take this from the top, and compliments of Kelley Blue Book. We'll just take this from number 10th spot. In terms of cars, we're looking at a 2024 Subaru Solterra. You can get price starts around $46,340 and 0% APR financing, and expires on looks like September 30th of 2024. So you've got a couple more weeks to deal with that. It's a sporty little, roomy little vehicle. It comes with all-wheel drive, symmetrical all-wheel drive, as we know from Subaru. They have one of the best all-wheel drive systems in the marketplace. Also offers a hands-free driving up to 25 miles per hour for those, those very slow commutes. So it's a great opportunity, and the loan term is 72 months. So you can get, some flexibility in that. Now, with that said, well, I've always said the smart play is always keep it under 48 months, under 4 years for your loan. So if you can afford the monthly payments on a 3 or 4 year loan term, that's the ultimate best. But this is represents a decent deal. It's an unassuming vehicle. It's not very expensive by today's market prices. Clearly, it's not cheap, but one of the better deals you'll find. So number 9, we'll talk about the 24 Volkswagen Jetta. Starts around $22,660. That, by today's measures, ultra cheap. They're giving you a 3.9% APR financing, and looks like October 31st is your deadline on that one. And of course, it's, everybody knows the Jetta. It's a spacious 4-door sedan, kind of subcompact or compact to almost mid-sized vehicle, 4 doors and a trunk. Very easy to live with. Not very fast, but that's not the point. It gets you around. Standard features. You can get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, digital cockpit, and blind spot monitoring. Some people have complained a little bit about the digital controls in these newer Volkswagens, but it's a very techy vehicle. And if you want something from the German manufacturers, the Jetta might have you covered. Another one, number 8, Subaru Impreza. We know Subaru has been pushing and trying to incentivize. We also know incentives have been climbing, and that's a big reason why the average transaction price on vehicles have been dropping in this last segment, in this last time frame, because of so many incentives. But here goes another one, the 24 Subaru Impreza. Starts around $24,115. You can get a 3.9% APR financing. September 30th is your end of the road for that deal. You can get 11.6-inch touchscreen, Apple wireless, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, smartphone integration, all kinds of goodness there. You get the EyeSight safety technology, which some love, some don't. It just means more visibility on the driver. Blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and automatic braking. And this financing deal has a loan term of 48 months, which is kind of in that sweet spot. I said 3 to 4 years is all you really want to borrow money. If you can afford it in that time frame, you're good. Next one, a 2024 Hyundai Sonata, $28,650, 3.99% APR. Hyundai Sonata, not the best product. We know there's been a sordid history of engine failures, but again, they are getting slowly better with the new generation of drivetrains. So you can get September 30th is the end of the road for this one. And, they're a little bigger than, say, a Jetta. They're not a large car. I would call them closer to mid-size, but there you have it. It was named top safety pick by Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, and earned a 5-star rating from the NHTSA, which is interesting because they're the first ones to recognize all the recalls that we've seen with a lot of Hyundai and Kia products. But no worries. The loan term is about 5 years, 60 months, and the same financing is available for the N-Line, SEL Hybrid, and the Limited Hybrid. So decent at 3.99%. It's a great option. Next in line is a 24 Honda Accord. You'll notice the 24s are all highly incentivized. We're getting better interest rates on them. We're getting cash back on some of these vehicles. And it's because of 24s. We're starting to see the 25s hit the lots. So here we have a Honda Accord. Everybody wants a Honda Accord. That's an unassuming Japanese-made vehicle. Quite reliable, I might add. $28,990 gets you into a new Accord, 1.9% APR. And October 31st is your cutoff there. Of course, we know it's a mid-size or compact. Sophistication, technology, fuel efficiency, and reliability are all phrases that you can use when describing the Honda Accord. And, you know, it's a fun car to drive. They're actually, honestly, most would consider a Honda Accord more entertaining to drive than the Toyota Camry, which is its direct competitor. The Honda Accord's always been a very interesting and fun car to drive, but maybe look at that. They're incentivizing them. They're motivated to sell the Accords. 2024 Kelley Blue Book Best Buy Award winner. And of course, this month's financing deal has a loan term of 3 years, so 36 months at that 1.9%. Definitely put a little more money down on there, but you'll have a better car. You can keep that for a lot longer than you would if, say, you're buying an Impala or something like that. Moving right along, we'll find the next one in line is a 24 Mazda CX-30. I love this style of these. I mean, I look at these drive-by in traffic and they're quite small. They look like a CX-5, but smaller and a little bit nicer profile. Very, very subcompact little SUV, car, kind of whatever you want to call it. $26,415, and we know Mazda's been getting a lot better than a lot of the competition in terms of reliability. I would give Mazda a good look here for sure. And not just the CX-30, they've been incentivizing a lot of their product line. Give them a look. But here we see a 0% APR financing. 0%, can't go wrong there, but make sure you understand what the cash price is, because usually where there's 0%, especially in a market like this where the bank rates are still a little bit higher, that you're probably paying more for the cash price of that vehicle. If you're buying it cash, they'll give you a better deal if you're taking, of course, anyway, you know, you get the gist. You definitely want to find out what the cash price is versus the dollar out the door price is when you're taking their financing. Try to make sure they match up as close as possible. So they're very engaging to drive, fun, you know, daily commuter, small, compact, easy to park if you work downtown or in a parkade, super easy to drive around with. Blind spot monitoring, high beam assist. CX-30 also offers 8 different trim levels and a variety of budgets and needs. 36 months is what you have to take that loan out for if you want that 0%. But moving right along, if you don't want that, we do have, and again, the electric cars always going to show up in some of these lists. And we're talking about a 24 Kia EV6, $43,975. We haven't been seeing as many of these sell. They're not quite as popular in the last little bit. But for 43 grand and just 975 and 0% APR financing, we know a lot of the electric vehicles are highly incentivized. So here's another one. And it's an interesting looking vehicle. I'll give them that. It definitely stands out in a crowd. If you don't want a Tesla, you want something a little more unique, this definitely has you covered. The fast charging technology can go from 10% to 80% in as little as 18 minutes. Could be at the detriment to your charger or your power bill. But anyway, it's a fun little vehicle to drive. I've driven them and they're very, very punchy. 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds, and the all-wheel drive. Make sure that you can drive around all time of year. It's a great vehicle. 72 months is up to the term to get that 0%. So lots of flexibility, but again, I strongly advise keep it under 4 years if you can afford to. The next one is a Honda Civic. Love the Civic. Everybody loves the Civic. Just for lower cost transportation. $25,045, you can get 3.9% APR financing, and it can be done within a 48-month time frame. So it's a very flexible car. The rates are solid, not perfect, not zero, but you know what? The rates are decent, and they're always fun to drive. With the front-wheel drive, they're always great. You can get a manual, you can get an automatic or a CVT. So they have you covered there. Civics are always a fun little car and quite cost-effective. Next one in line is a Nissan Altima for $37,210. And we'll see they're giving you 3.49% APR financing plus $1,000 cash back. And this ends at the end of September. I would say with that, you get a 34 mile per gallon on the highway, and naturally 36 months is your loan term. So, you know, again, you got to have that paid off in 3 years to qualify, but it's not that pricey of a vehicle. This month's financing offer is available for the SR-VC Turbo trim. You know, comfortable interior trim. I'm never saying that the quality feels the best. Go take a look at one for yourself. I found the exterior a little bit kind of generic. The plastic parts aren't necessarily of the highest grade, but it's an affordable car, and if you need something to get down the road, this might be a great option. It's practical, 4 doors and a trunk. Can't go wrong, mid-size car there. And the next one in line for cars, Hyundai Ioniq 5. We've seen this in almost every list of prior vehicles that are heavily incentivized. We know, again, the electrified market isn't selling so well. So Hyundai here is offering the Ioniq 5 again at $43,195 and 0% APR. They're doing that, up to a loan term of 60 months or 5 years. And of course, the Ioniq 5, exceptional EV with good range, quick charging, and excellent warranty, advanced technology. There's lots of tech in these vehicles, but we also seen stories where somebody pierced a battery and it costs $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to replace. So any of these electric vehicles, they're great when they're new. Maybe you want to get into a lease, investigate the leases too, but from a purchasing standpoint, the Ioniq 5 is a great option, and they've got you covered. So if you're looking maybe at something more in lines with an SUV, I was just looking recently because we're looking at possibly getting something with a third row personally, because with a growing family, we like to do some traveling. So we're starting to contemplate some third row vehicles, and this is one of those that made the list. It's the first one on my list is a 24 Volkswagen Atlas. They start around $39,420, 2.9% APR financing, and October 31st, Halloween, is when that cuts off. Loan term of 60 months, so that means you've got 5 years to cover off at that rate, and plus no down payments required. So pretty flexible. You don't have to put any money down. It's a pretty long term. So if it fits your bill, hey, by all means, and it does give you the third row as an option. And those are actually hard to come by these days. You'd believe it or not, to find a good third row SUV that's affordable, that's not an absolute tank. These are interesting that way. Lots of technology, 12-inch infotainment screen, IQ Drive, Volkswagen bundle of driver assistance. New for the 24 is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. We know that's the only engine available now, and you can't get the V6 anymore, but 250, 260 horsepower, it's still a peppy drive. So that's a great option for you if you're looking for an SUV. Another SUV, these are kind of silly looking if you ask me, a little bit of a clown car, but if you're looking for something affordable, the Buick Encore GX 2024 is also being incentivized, $26,895. They're offering up, GM's offering 0.9% APR, and they're doing such with a $3,000, $3,000 cashback incentive on that, ends September 30th. And basically GM's, in addition, there are no payments for 90 days when financed with GM Financial. So if you take the financing in-house, you can skip 3 months. They're giving some flexibility there to get your dollars in order, and gives you a little bit of front-end unloading on that. So they're one of the quietest, most relaxing cabins. That's because they're usually stalling out. I'm just kidding. 3-cylinder engines aren't necessarily the strongest engines. Turbocharging. I know somebody who's got one. They've had mixed reviews. They enjoy driving it for the economy. They're not sure they would buy it again, but you know what? It's very, very affordable price. So 11-inch infotainment, touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This month's deal is $33,000 cash back, as I already said. So it's an option if you want something affordable in SUVs. How about the 24 Hyundai Tucson? $28,975, 1.99% APR financing. So not a bad deal there. Also, September 30th is the cutoff of that, 60 months, no down payments required. As you'll notice, there's a lot of incentives here these days for a lot of these manufacturers. They're giving you flexibility of no money down or a little bit money down, giving you some front end, and some of these manufacturers giving you time to make that first payment, 0%, 1.9. I mean, all these manufacturers giving you some pretty good deals. And this one here is 1.99% APR. It's a small little SUV. Quite handsome little vehicle. I like the styling of myself. I'm not still totally sold on Hyundai and Kia in terms of their overall reliability, but they're a stylish little vehicle, and I mean they definitely beat a lot of their Japanese competitors for looks and style and features. So if that's what you were looking for, blind spot monitoring, rear side airbags, seatbelt reminders, there's some basic tech in there that doesn't come standard in every vehicle. So definitely something worth looking at. The 24 Blazer, I like the Blazer. I love the way it looks. It's a GM product. I wouldn't expect it to be the best quality, but again, big reasons why they're incentivized. but they're in a very attractive looking vehicle, and you know what, GM's offering lots of incentives. $36,795 base price, 1.9% APR. September 30th is the cutoff for that one as well. And the loan terms for 36 months. So if you can handle a 3-year loan at that type of financing rates, and if you can help, you know, manage that monthly budget, then you can even wait for that first 3 months before you start making your payments. GM's allowing that if you take the GM internal type financing. Lots of features, 10.2-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Chevy's Safety Assist, which includes the emergency braking, lane keep assist, and following distance indicator, automatic high beams. Lots of features, just chocked with features. Now I have to remind you, remember they were going through that little mishmash earlier in the year where they had some technology issues, the infotainment was a problem, and they actually had to put a stop build on some of these vehicles, including these, for a while because they had to get the programming sorted out. There were some challenges there with GM. Now it looks like that's all in the rear view mirror. So here it is, some good options with the Blazer. The next one's a 24 Subaru Forester. Kind of vanilla yogurt, but they do look a little more interesting now than if you go back a generation or two. They actually have a little more flair, a little more style to them. And so for $28,440, pretty decent deal. 2.9% APR, September 30th, same thing as when it all runs out. This month's financing term is good for 72 months. So 6 years, not bad. And no down payments required for these ones either. So you can get the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, smartphone connectivity, and lots of practicality. Subaru's EyeSight Safety Suite, Tech Suite. I mean, they're chocked with technology. Safety, performance is there. Now you have to love the CVT, the continuously variable transmission. Not everybody loves that. It's a little whiny, it's a little buzzy. But overall, it's a very practical vehicle, and a lot of people find it suits their, you know, their growing family needs. Small little SUV with a hatch, allows you to bring the dog, your camping gear, the kids, everything. You pack it all into one little vehicle. And so it's very affordably priced. You want to try another one? How about the 24 Nissan Pathfinder? Notice all of these are 2024s because they're trying to make room for the 25s. So here goes, Nissan. We know Nissan in the first half of 2024, this year, lost about 99% of their profits due to the fact that all of the incentives they were throwing at trying to sell their vehicles. But here goes, Nissan Pathfinder, $51,010. Not the cheapest vehicle, but it's a good mid-size SUV. They have restyled them. They've changed them up a bit. The previous generation was more rounded out, looked more like a big bedroom couch. These ones here are a little more conventional looking again. I find them a lot more attractive. And I believe they're getting away from the CVTs as they find they had a lot of problems there. $51,000. Current offers 0% APR plus $500 cash back. And September 30th is the end of the road for that one. Loan terms stayed 36 months, so it's going to be a sizable payment. But I do believe that you should be able to manage those payments within between 3 to 4 years. And if not, then you might want to scale down and get something a little bit more affordable. But this is potentially your car here. Well-appointed 8-seat with standard center bench and 7 with the optional second row captain chairs. I know Toyota is doing that as well with like their Limited and their Highlanders. So some of the more premium trims offer you the captain chairs in the middle on the third row vehicles, and it reduces 1 seat, but it's much more comfortable. And so yeah, you can potentially get the $500 cash back and no down payment with that 3-year term. So the next one, Mazda CX-90. We were also looking at these, by the way, when I was telling you. It's kind of looking at that Volkswagen Atlas. Mazda CX-90 is their big, glorious 3-row SUV. In that market, probably the most competitive and most aggressively priced 3-row SUV. They have that turbocharged inline-6. Most of its competitors are rocking now either hybrids or turbo 4s. So this is probably one of the most impressive vehicle. The base suite of features and options is much better on this than it is with a lot of their competition, and the prices are very competitive. So the CX-90 starts around $39,300 with a 0% APR financing, and these deals are ending September 30th. Now, this month's deal has a loan term of 5 years or about 60 months. You get that 3.3 liter turbo 6-cylinder engine that I already mentioned. 10.25-inch infotainment, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, smartphone integration, and power tailgate. Lots of features, and the third row is actually quite spacious. I personally think it's an acquired taste, but there's so many features, it's a hard vehicle to deny, and you really got to give it a look. You can also get the plug-in hybrid as well as an upgrade. So definitely give the CX-90 a look, especially if you're looking at a 3-row SUV. A 24 Kia Sportage, another one, $28,565 base price, 0% financing, APR. And again, the loan term is for 4 years or 48 months. You get all the dual panoramic displays, wireless charging, Kia Drive-Wise Safety Tech Suite, automatic emergency braking, lots of technology. Give it a look. Again, Kia, reliability has been sort of spotty, but give it a look. Lots of features. The next one in line is a 24 Honda CR-V SUV. Another great one, $31,450. Not the cheapest in its class, but certainly probably one of the best. 31 grand and change, 2.9% APR, ends October 31st, so Halloween. And 3 years or 36 months is that time frame. And lots of technology, safety features. It feels like a lot of quality. It exudes quality. You know, great vehicle all the way around. Spacious, reliable. Kelley Blue Book Compact SUV Best Buy winner for 2 years in a row. Just to make a special note there. I'm not plugging them. I'm just saying they win awards. I know many people that drive these CR-Vs. They're hard to deny. If you want a small SUV, you know, they don't have all the modern looks and style of what you're finding in Kia and Hyundai. But if you want something that's more durable, you know, and the longevity's there and you're going to get the lifespan out of it, definitely got to give the Hondas a look. Right there, definitely check out that video. That's going to tell you also what's going on in the market and the cost of living crisis. Hope that helps everybody. We'll see you all real soon. Okay, bye-bye.